The following is a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network. This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
We're committed to being great here. I'm proud to represent Washington State. I know the people that wear their Cougs all across this country, they're proud to be a part of Washington State. Why not be here? Why not cheer on this team? Why not see this environment and make it something special? What an opportunity to show who we are as Cougs.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zappos, alongside Cougar head coach Jake Dickert, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Good evening and welcome into Zappos for the Cougar Football Hour. It is good to be back. We missed all these smiling faces last week. It was the bye. The team had a chance to recharge a little bit. Right next to, as always, Jake Dickert, the coach of the Cougs. How are you doing tonight? It's good to be back here.
Oh, we're doing great. There were some great stories. I think there was a Vegas trip over here. I mean, there was some apple pie making. Everyone got a chance to refocus and refresh a little bit for this next 3-game stretch before a unique season. We'll get another bye week. So we've talked a lot about this schedule, Chris, just in terms of, we talk about a lot in the course of a game. You have your fast start, you have your middle 8, which is the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half, and then you have your fourth quarter finish. It's kind of how this season's set up. So we're right in the middle. We got out to a fast start, got a bad taste in our mouth about the last one, but when you look at the whole start, we're 4-1, good football team, and just excited to kind of attack this next phase. And it starts with going down to Fresno and a tough place to play on Saturday.
Saturday, as you said, the opponent, Fresno State, and we got a great show planned. Dean Janikowski will be here tonight.
He's already here. Let's give Dean a round of applause.
To talk to Dean coming up. We will have a preview of that Fresno State game. We'll get to, as always, our listener and audience questions. And as we're on it, the bye, what was it like for you, for the coaching staff, for the players? How was it? How has it been just since we last talked after the Boise State game?
Well, you kind of formulate a plan, every year of how you want to attack the bye week. And, I never like to say bye. It's kind of an improvement week, so you get an opportunity. We didn't bring the guys back in until Tuesday, so you kind of had to sit in that discomfort for a little while. And then, you had to have a bunch of honest conversations about the film, identify some ways as coaches, through self-scouting and, try to break tendencies and try to figure all those things out of things that we need to get better. We had a light practice Wednesday, a pretty physical practice on Thursday, but short for the older guys. Did a lot of scrimmaging, some of our 2s, some of our 3s. We had our young guys live scout bowl. The quarterbacks were live. I mean, there's a lot of energy in that one. And then obviously for us as coaches, we're all over the country recruiting, so it isn't one of those things where you just get a chance to sit and enjoy a ton of college football on TV. We're traveling around. I got an opportunity to watch some football on the west side in Seattle and then Vancouver. So great trips, really excited about this class and recruiting that we're bringing in. And then, you get back, have a kind of a day off with the family on Saturday, and then Sunday right back to Fresno State. So been a really great week to kind of refresh and most importantly, re-energize for this next sprint that we're going to be in.
How was that recruiting trip? I imagine a lot of smiling faces, folks happy to see you when you're there in Seattle and Vancouver.
It is. I got a chance to go to Memorial Stadium, watch Eastside Catholic, and it just, anytime you go out there, you just put yourself back to, when you were 17 years old with that helmet on and, the pride of it. And what I like to say is, 90% of those kids, this is their last time playing football and the joy of it. And I try to share that with our team. Sometimes, the pressure, the strain, the focus of trying just to be great and make it to the NFL and all these stuff, we put too much pressure on ourselves. Guys, just go back to when you have fun, and that's high school football. Got a chance to watch Tumwater play. Watch that triple option. And I was over there sweating like the opposing, defensive coordinator. I was like, I wouldn't want to see this stuff. So it's just fun to see these teams compete and the joy that goes along with it. And then always just some of the really great high school football in our state and great high school coaching. I think you can't say enough about what those guys do, making pennies on the dollar for the time that they invest in these young people. It's just really cool to see. So a great shout out to all the high school coaches out there that I got a chance to visit with.
That's great to hear. So we'll put to bed the Boise State game. We just haven't had a chance to talk about that. First loss of the year. How do you look back on that matchup in Boise against the Broncos?
Well, I think once you kind of watch everything, I mean, we ran into, obviously, a really talented football player. I mean, the Genty kid, and he did it again last week, had almost 200 yards in one half, and then he didn't play the second half. So he's just talented, and I knew he was going to be hard to tackle. I mean, we made it look exceedingly hard to tackle, but that's part him, and giving him credit as far as like his ability to hit the big play. You know, we knew he would break some tackles, but to make the big runs, that's a credit to him and his talent and their scheme and how they played it. And, you know, I think the final score, when you look at it, Chris, probably didn't, you know, dictate or wasn't indicative of how close that football game was. It was back and forth. They won more moments and plays than we did in big spots, and I think that's how you win big games. It was a tough environment. You know, shout out to all the Cougs that were there. I mean, it was a record crowd for them, and I think part of it was because the Cougs showed up in big ways. But we got to be better. We got to improve. I think we've identified that. And great teams will have those moments. How do you respond to it? How do you show up the next day? How do you take some of the criticism and identify ways where we all got to improve, including the coaches? And we've done that, and we're ready to move on.
Just to add on to what you're saying about Ashton Genty, a truly legitimate Heisman candidate that the Cougars saw in that game. And, I mean, he did that against Oregon. He has done that against every team that he has played, that he has given them all they can handle and more. Yeah, I mean, just like a special blend of a lot of different things. And I think their scheme kind of fits him well. And, you know, they're just going to keep feeding him the football. And the two games that he's had to play a full game, I mean, you know, did really well. So tough matchup. You know, wish we would have played a little bit better against them, and you have to win big football games. So credit to that kid and the way he played. And you made the point, and I think about it too with that game. After the first play of the fourth quarter, it was a 7-point game. I mean, it was right there within striking distance in the fourth quarter. Yeah, they did a little bit better job finishing, and, you know, we knew they were kind of leaning on us a little bit in their pressure. That was probably the thing. Offensively, we didn't stay ahead of the chains enough to dictate to them. And, you know, we knew once you get behind them, they're going to come after us, and we just didn't take advantage of some of the opportunities that, you know, we felt coming in. And, you know, I said that kind of after the game. I think we pressed a little bit. You know, things – when you're playing good teams, they expose some of your weaknesses. That's what happens. Not everything's going to go your way, but you just got to stay in that moment and not press to make some plays. I felt like we did that at times. And, you know, from a high performance standpoint, anytime you're overexerting, trying to make stuff happen, you know, you don't get yourself to where you're doing it the way we all want to do it as a group. So, yeah, we've identified a lot of good things. It was a close football game, and it was, like I said, in a tough environment. So those are the places you want to be in, and we'll be in another kind of sold-out arena this Saturday. Yeah, and expecting a big crowd there in Fresno, a warm one coming up for that matchup. 4 o'clock kickoff on Saturday for the Cougs on the road against Fresno State. Throughout the year, 5 games in, we've seen John Mateer do special things and in so many different ways. His skill set, it's just so dangerous for opposing teams to deal with. How would you say he did in that game against Boise State? Well, I think it was the first time. I mean, John's always going to be probably hypercritical on himself, and, you know, like I said, they did some good things to kind of corral him, but he's going to have his moments, and I think there's some great learning moments in this game of when your greatest strength sometimes is your legs, it's also sometimes your escape valve, and I think he probably pressed that button a little too fast at times, could have stood in there, went through his progressions. We've identified those things, but I also want John to understand that, you know, I don't want it to swing all the other way. Let's just stand in the pocket all the time and deliver. No, play your game. Learn, here's some times where we could have done a little bit better, or we could have got you in a little bit better play, or here's a better check, or, you know, hey, on the interception, we just forced one. That's going to happen. So we just got to go through some of those learns, and it's still his 5th game playing. But how excited are you about the future when we're talking game 15? He doesn't make those mistakes. I mean, he's just going to keep getting better and better. So you want to be challenged. John wants to be challenged. Like, he's one of those guys that just thinks different, Chris, that losses, like, motivate him. Like, you know, they just, I want to go out there. I want to compete. I want to get better. And when you can surround your team with that, I think it's so energizing. So he's one of those guys out there that just sees things differently, and he wants to go out there and compete. He was able to connect quite a bit in that game with Kyle Williams and Chris Hudson, both guys bright spots. Chris Hudson, we've talked about him before, but his second game as a Coug with over 100 receiving yards. What's allowed him? It feels like he is really in his first year here on the Palouse has been able to hit the ground running. I just think consistency. You know, I think throughout the course of
Chris's career, and had some really bright spots at Oregon and had some low spots. So to come in here and kind of wipe the slate clean a little bit and just say, hey, get back to the basics, get back to doing things right, and you're going to be rewarded, because you are talented. And he's done some really good things. Originally when we had Carlos, and we'll get Carlos back this week, he was going to be inside. He learned how to play outside. Just felt like he's been really good out there, and we've been really good between Kyle and Josh and Chris, of catching the ball and racking it down the field and breaking tackles. So we'll need to continue that as we go through this week, and we got a bunch of good defenses that we're going to play in this next stretch.
That Boise State game in the rearview mirror by quite a bit, but this is our last time talking about it. Anything else we didn't hit on? Just any final thoughts on that game before moving forward?
Well, I just think it just, still rears its head a little bit in communication, and we've really focused at that. That's what I love about bye weeks, defensive communication. You can identify some things because however you feel in coaching, offensive coaches, they see things that defenses are messing up on. Guess what they do? Do the same things, right? So we're all not probably that creative, right? So we've worked on some of those things, got a little bit banged up in the secondary, got very thin towards the end of that game. So that's the course of a season. That's why it's called team football, and that's why this is the greatest sport there is, because you never know when your number is going to be called, and those guys got to answer the bell. So we'll have a couple younger guys out there that we're excited about, and we're ready to get back out on that field, and it's only a couple days away.
Here we go. Saturday on the road against Fresno State, 4 o'clock kickoff. We are here at Zeppo's live on the Cougar Football Hour. More with Coach Jake Dickert after this. You are listening to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. For your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
We all know there are morning people and not so morning people. But now that McDonald's has bagels, the morning people demographic might just have to make room for some new members of the club. Talk about a game changer.
There's no better way to wake up. Try McDonald's hearty steak, egg, and cheese bagel with a juicy steak patty and grilled onions, fluffy eggs, and melty cheese. Or try one with smoky bacon or savory sausage at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly.
Welcome back to Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour. Here with the head coach of the Cougs, Jake Dickert. Dean Janikowski will join us coming up a little bit later, and we'll preview that game. Fresno State, the opponent. Saturday, the Cougs on the road against the Bulldogs. But first, a reminder, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards program. To join the program, visit WSUCougars.com/Toyota Rewards. And Coach, we will dive into Fresno State as the opponent, but first, I know there was a mighty football team that made its way to campus and to be around the guys. The Pullman Junior Greyhounds made a visit this week. What was it like hosting them?
It was like the Super Bowl, if I'm being honest with you, Chris. I mean, just an honor to host athletes of this caliber. It was fun. I mean, Jen Keller is the director of the Junior Greyhounds, and this has been in the works for a long time. It's pretty cool. I mean, everyone gets a chance to see my son Jet comes in here at the end of the show after practice, and the 3rd and 4th grade, they're undefeated 4-0. The 5th and 6th grade, they're undefeated 5-0. It's been a heck of a season for these groups, and not only for my son, but Coach Mesa, our special teams assistant, his son plays. Coach Atawai, his daughter plays. Coach Anakioni, his son plays. And we had about 35 kids that we hosted a clinic with too. So it wasn't just allowing them to practice on our field, which I knew was super cool for all those kids. We took them through stretch. We took them through offensive drills. We took them through defensive drills. We don't exactly run the wing tee, Chris, so I don't know the ins and outs of the double cross buck as well as I should, but it was a dream come true. We had about 50 of our players out there helping, coaching, and the smiles on their face was even better than the smiles on the kids' face, and every kid got to leave with our patented Juice Box, if you're juiceless, you're useless t-shirt. So if you see a bunch throughout the community, it was those kids, and it was just because I'll tell you what, they're on Lincoln Middle School, and you got to use what you use, but you go pick them up this time of night, these guys are practicing, there's no lights, right? So they're like, Coach, we get our pass plays in early before the sun goes down, and then we pull the trucks up, right? The field is sunken down there, they shoot the truck lights out there. So we had them on under the lights. It was just a great moment for everyone involved, and really fortunate that partnership, and thankful for our administration to allow it to happen.
I love everything about that. How cool is that?
Yep.
Did you get a question, or did a player relay a question to you that just made you crack up? Because I'm assuming between a lot of these kids, like they're pretty funny.
They'll have some wild things. I mean, a couple of our guys, like Kyle Williams, gave one of these guys a pair of gloves, and the fingers are this far, beyond his capability, but you couldn't pry the gloves off his hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kyle Williams gave me these gloves, and it's just great. And I saw a couple, John Mateer headbands out of these kids.
Okay.
And it's a great example for our guys, though, to understand the impact that they have. And not just, out there on social media, but to these kids, they want to be you, right? So to see him at practice, John got done with his meetings. He was out there throwing balls to the kids. So it's just really cool to see that partnership. And hopefully, honest with you, Chris, this is just the beginning.
That's so cool. Those are memories that are going to last a lifetime for all those little junior Greyhounds out there.
I was putting Jet through drills. I think I hit him a little extra hard with that bag. He needs that. It's okay. He needs that, right?
Oh, that is too funny. Well, one other piece of news from this week, Coug fans will have a chance to go to Oxford next year. Ole Miss being
how do we
added
feel about
to the
Oxford,
schedule?
Mississippi? It's going to be great.
I think there's going to be a lot of crimson and gray. I don't know if they know what's coming for them there on October 11th next year. What were your thoughts on having that game added to the schedule?
Well, I saw on social media, I think they're already putting out, guys, stockpile some beers. Cougs are coming. There's some Auburn stories that I don't know about that I guess I got to be refreshed on. But elite competition. I mean, that's the story. I mean, it's a top 10 team, a highly recognizable team. I mean, the team that's probably going to be in the college football playoff this season. And what a challenge to go on the road in their place. I've heard a lot about the Grove and the traditions and all those type of things. So we want to play great competition. I think that's what this is. Unique circumstances lead to all this, so Wake Forest broke the contract. They're going to play Oregon State. We're going to play Ole Miss. So we're putting together a schedule, and there should be more news coming out here in the next week or two on the next 5 opponents. So excited about what we've done on short notice, and But as long as that 2025 schedule comes intact, which it will, we'll be back regional competition here in 26 in the new Pac-12.
Well, that will be a fun game next year to look forward to. With that, we'll step aside, take another time out here from Zeppos on the Cougar Football Hour. Still to come, we'll talk with Coach Dickert about Fresno State, and Dean Janikowski will stop by and join us as well. You are tuned in to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Toyota's lineup of cool, colorful vehicles is ready to ride by your side. Take on fall in a trail-tackling Tacoma or go for the powerful Tundra. Head to Toyota.com for more info or visit your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should, especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Are you interested in your company reaching Cougar fans in and out of game day? As the multimedia rights holder for Washington State Athletics, Washington State Sports Properties helps companies and organizations connect themselves to Cougar Athletics in unique and exciting ways. Whether it's creating brand awareness, driving product sales, or entertaining employees or clients, Washington State Sports Properties has the resources to help your business achieve its marketing goals. Reach out to Washington State Sports Properties to learn more about what sponsoring the Cougs can look like for you.
This is former Coug, Eric Coleman.
Picked off, intercepted, touchdown coming into the end zone, Eric Coleman.
And you're listening to Cougar Football. Go Cougs.
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a Go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Cougar. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, and also an alumni from WSU, the best college in the state. Go Cougs! And for over 65 years, I believe our competitive edge has been selling the very best roofing, siding, and windows made at a great price with the best team of professionals installing it. And during our anniversary sale, we're offering 10% off your next project up to $3,000. So give us a call today at McVeigh Brothers. We're always working for you.
This is the Cougar Football Hour.
He'll run himself, still up on his feet, looking for a blocker. He's still going. Touchdown, John Mateer. 3rd and 20 from the 25. Doesn't matter. Mateer makes some magic again.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Well, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Well, welcome back into Zeppos here on the Cougar Football Hour. It is time to preview the game coming up on Saturday. Cougs on the road against Fresno State. 4 o'clock kickoff. Our coverage will start 2 hours prior. The Bulldogs, they are also coming off of a bye, 3-2 on this year. Both losses coming to teams at the time ranked in the top 25. Michigan was number 9 at that point. UNLV was in the top 25. So this Fresno State team, what would you say are the strengths of the Bulldogs this year?
Well, I think just like most, things, you can look at scores or you can really look at the film. And, UNLV, I mean, they're coming into it the same way we are with a bad taste in their mouth. I mean, it's just one of those little flat performances. They kind of ran into a buzzsaw against kind of a UNLV team that took a bunch of bad press that whole week and went out there, I think, very possessed to go play, and they went out in there and did it. But offensively, very explosive. You can see kind of the history of offense there, the Kalen DeBoer offenses. and then they've just passed ever since then. So the quarterback, number one, is really talented. He's on time. He's played a bunch of different football games, and then really good at wide receiver. They have a bunch of guys that are really experienced, and then they're big up front. So I think seniors or juniors and seniors all the way across the board, they haven't quite been able to establish a rhythm yet in the run game. So we have to continue to stop that and force them to be one-dimensional. So, but the game got away from them last week because they threw 4 interceptions and 2 special teams touchdowns and made some mistakes that you haven't seen this football team make. So when you look at the whole season, I mean, heck, it was a 17-10 football game with Michigan going into the fourth quarter. So they're tough, they're aggressive, they can play physical defense. And when you get behind the chains, here comes the pressure. I mean, it is, a lot like Boise in that way, but a little more, dynamic as far as some of the things that they do. So they will be ready to play. They will be energized by a sold-out crowd. They will be energized. I mean, we would just say a afternoon kickoff for the first time in a long time. This team is 17-3 the last 4 years at their home place. So we got to go in and do something hard. We've talked about it all week, and it comes down to us executing better than they do and winning more of those type of moments that we're going to have in this football game. So a really quality opponent in their place, kind of a crazy fan base. If you've ever been there, I've played there before. They're going to be shouting and yelling at you, and it's a fun place to play.
Well, you mentioned that. I remember the first coaches show of the year. We were sitting outside on the patio, and the question came up of, well, what are some of these road environments like that you've been to? And I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you said it's kind of like you go and play the Raiders. The fans are there shouting on you. How is that experience with getting a not-so-warm welcome as the opposing team?
Well, you love that as a competitor too, right? Because I always say you control the volume of the opponent's stadium, right, and how you're playing. So, but you got to come out of this deal, and you it's kind of like the USC thing, which I don't know is very safe or not, but you come in and out of the same tunnel, right? So you kind of cross the teams are all there. You're coming through the parking lot kind of to get to your room. It's people are tailgating and yelling at you, so it's a fun little deal. Big ramp into a bowl stadium, but once you're in there, I mean, it's just let's go. It's a competitor's environment. It's going to be a nice warm day, and let's go play ball.
I thought it was interesting looking back at the last time WSU played Fresno State in Fresno, 1992. Cougs won 39-37. Drew Bledsoe outdueled Trent Delfer. So pretty neat to think about the quarterbacks in that game. Plenty of offense in that one.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years of NFL quarterbacking there. I mean, you can understand why defenses struggled just a little bit that day. But, throughout history, they've had I feel like we're quarterback I mean, we're up there in the tops of the country in the faces that could be on our Mount Rushmore. I mean, they've had a great string of the Cars have played there, and they've been, like I said, a good solid team that doesn't beat themselves. But I think how Washington State kind of embodies the Palouse in our region, they embody the Valley. They're kind of stuck in between the Bay and LA, and they just kind of embody that blue collar mentality, and typically they're not going to beat themselves, so we got to go in there and play well.
You ready for a warm one? I looked today. It looks like a high 85 coming up on Saturday.
We are ready. I mean, come on. The fall in the Palouse has gotten us ready. It's been incredible, right?
The
weather
really
around
nice.
here has just been – we've been very lucky. So that obviously leads to next week it's going to snow, right? I mean, I just jinxed all of us, so I apologize. But, yeah, I mean – and the cool part was on the bye week, one of the things, I got a little sneak preview of the new Taylor Sports Complex.
Ooh, yes.
Man, everybody, it's going to be a game changer. It's an amazing facility. Our guys got a chance to see it. They're just fired up about it. And, they walk in there and they just remember leaving, some skin behind them, the old rollout carpeting that used to be in there. And to see that facility, and we're about 2 weeks away from getting into it, is just really cool. So we'll be ready for this environment, and weather's weather. Heat's heat. I think our guys are excited about it.
I believe the opening ceremony coming up before the Hawaii game, so that will be really neat to get that opened up. And I know that's such a game changer, such a huge thing for Cougar athletics. You touched on their quarterback, Mikey Keene. They had 4 interceptions in the UNLV game. He only had 2. They played 3 quarterbacks throughout that game, but he's a veteran. He's 18-8 as a starting quarterback in his career. Started out at Central Florida, 8-3 there, 10-5 in his time at Fresno State. He's got the 8th highest career completion percentage among active players in the FBS, 66%. How would you describe his skill set?
Well, very much a pocket passer. I mean, he's an on-rhythm guy. I think schematically they do a bunch of different things through protections to let him take some deep drops and step up and go through his progressions. And, a couple of those mistakes, or if you can get him to move on the run, I mean, just like any other quarterback, they'd rather sit back and be protected and throw it. So we got to try to get to him. He's a competitor, though. I mean, Chris, he's taken some big hits this year. He gets right back up. Like he's almost like kind of scary. He's energized by it a little bit. You're like, okay, this is the guy we're playing. And like I said, he's got a bunch of veteran guys to get the ball to. So they will play two quarterbacks a little bit like we did with John and Cam last year on the field at the same time, and a bunch of unique and different things. So they're a tough team to, prepare for. We've had the extra week, so we'll be ready. But they've always been on the edge schematically, and Coach Tedford, who did have to step away, you can see kind of how he's been a great quarterback whisperer his whole time in his career, and number one kind of embodies that too.
Well, we can't wait. Saturday, 4 o'clock kickoff. Cougs on the road against Fresno State. Coach, we'll let you loose for now. We'll bring you back a little later on as we get to our audience and listener questions. But coming up next, Dean Janikowski will join us. That's all after this timeout. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour live from Zeppo's from Learfield.
Want to earn some extra money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2024 to March 2025. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneAirports.net.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Bro, you go hard for the WSU Cougs.
What do you mean?
You're literally wearing a Coug jersey that you bought from the Coug store with your Coug debit card. And you don't stop talking about how every time you use your card, GISA donates to the Cougar Athletic Fund.
I guess I do go pretty hard for my Cougs.
If you go hard for your Cougs, get your WSU card today at GISA.com. Go Cougs!
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Hey, Cougar fans, the 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Washington State football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Washington State Cougars. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour, and we are joined now by Dean Janikowski. I was going to say Cougar kicker, but you were wearing a lot of hats this year. Cougar kicker handling field goals, point after attempts, handling punting duties so far this year and handling kickoffs. A man of many talents. It's great to have you here. How are you doing?
Yeah, great. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited to talk about not only your career, you're in your 6th year with the program, but the great work you do away from the field. But first, we are here at Zeppo's, our awesome hosts of the Cougar Football Hour, and they're giving away 4 tickets. So you've been recruited to help out with this. 4 tickets and 4 DIN passes to the Hawaii game. So the homecoming game 1 week from this Saturday. The DIN passes include complimentary food and drinks before the game. So we'll announce one winner here coming up. The next winner will be this Sunday. All you have to do is follow Zeppo's on Instagram at Zeppo's and at Zeppo's_restaurant. Share the top pinned post to the story and tag up to 3 friends for 3 entries. So not too late to enter. Again, at Zeppo's_restaurant on Instagram. Share the story and tag 3 friends. Dean, I feel like we're on the Wheel of Fortune here. We've got a electronic spinner to pick the winner. What do we have here?
All right. You want me to respin it?
Spin it, and let's pick a winner.
Let's do it.
We've got a winner.
Alrighty. Liz McPherson.
At Liz McPherson 707. So congrats to Liz. And again, thank you to Zeppo's for that great giveaway. So awesome for Liz to get to go enjoy the Hawaii game coming up. And boy, 6 years in the program. You've been through a lot. You have seen a lot in your time as a Coug. You're in the record book in a number of spots. How do you look back on your journey so far? Does it seem like just yesterday you stepped foot on campus?
Oh, man. I mean, it's been a long 6 years, but it's also been a pretty quick 6 years. I remember Leech Beach. I remember all of it. KT being the last in my class has been super fun, doing it through the last 6 years with KT, and just – I mean, it's been so much fun, and just meeting all these great people and just been having so much fun.
Do you and Kyle Thornton, do you sometimes in the locker room say, gather here, young ones, let me tell you about Leech Beach. Let me tell you about some of that.
They don't know. UCLA game, I don't know if you remember that game. When we lost that game, right after we'd get a team break, we had to roll 100 yards in the sand. And all the big linemen would chase you. They'd follow you. They'd try to roll you over. I was only about 185 pounds, so I was doing everything I could to stay away from those big boys.
Oh, goodness. Well, that makes for one heck of a story. And for you, we talked about your expanded role so far this year. How has it been adding on to your already full duties and everything that you've been doing for the team?
It's been super fun. It's been a learning experience, especially like operations with punt, just being able to read it, catching the ball, looking up, seeing if they're bringing the pressure, when to get it off. But it's been so much fun. I told Nick this week. I said I'm going to miss it when he comes back because, I mean, I've just been so busy on the field. And it's been so fun. So when I go out there and it's just field goals, it's going to get real boring out there.
Is there anything about handling the punting duties that you didn't expect going? Anything that surprised you about it?
I would say just being able to read it, being able to catch it, look up, see if they're bringing it, whether I have to get the ball off quick. We had the same deal in versus Boise. We had to do that. And just being able to read that and get the ball off. And then just obviously learning the Australian way of dropping the ball. It's not a spiral, kind of similar to what they do in the NFL, but dropping that ball and hitting an end over end.
Gosh, you're doing a great job taking on that role as well. And we mentioned about how you were in the record book. So 148 career made point afters, second most in WSU history, 40 career made field goals. That's the 6th most in program history. 4 career field goals of 50 or more yards, tied for the 3rd most in WSU history. How neat is that, knowing that you're in the record books in a number of spots and there's still a good chunk of the season left to go?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's hard to beat people like Jason Hansen, but it's really cool to be able to see my name up there. A lot of really great kickers.
Yeah, it really is. The tradition here is fantastic, and I'm thinking back to a great moment for you, that San Jose State game. 52-yard field goal to send the game to overtime. The team ultimately able to come out on top. What was that moment like for you?
Oh, I was just talking to Wayne earlier. It's so funny. John, obviously taking over the role for holding, he has so much adrenaline. So you, as a holder, you put your hand down, you mark it. That's where I take my steps. Well, John will run for 80 yards or whatever he has to do that drive, and his hand is shaking from so much adrenaline. And there's times where I have to tell John, because John will be upset he didn't get a pass off, whatever. He's not happy when we have to kick, which makes sense. But he'll go, I should have got that pass off. I'm like, hey John, listen, just quiet down. Calm down right now, John. We got to make this kick. He's all worried about that. His hand's shaking. But yeah, that was a really cool opportunity. I did a little thing. It was a great redemption for sure, and it felt great. Just had to be calm out there, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How long would that have been good for? Because it looked like you still had plenty of leg, and it was right down the middle. How long do you think that one would have gone for?
Yeah, maybe close to 60. It was a good kick.
No, that was fantastic. What a moment that was. That made for one heck of a memorable night. Palouse After Dark, a very special edition.
Oh, for sure.
That was in that San Jose State victory. Well, you do fantastic work off the field, and we're excited to dive into that coming up next. So we'll take a break. More with Dean Janikowski when we return. This is the Cougar Football Hour, live at Zeppo's from Lear Field.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
It's time for Northern Quest's $150,000 Ultimate Game Night Giveaway. Bob, tell them what they could win.
Well, Steve, it's a fully loaded Yukon Denali.
Fully loaded? Sounds like my brother-in-law at Thanksgiving.
Oh, just play daily to enter. Grand prize drawing November 30th.
And don't forget the spooky Cash Smash giveaway, Bob, with a $10,000 grand prize October 25th. Details at northernquest.com.
This is Drew Bledsoe, and you're listening to Cougar Football.
Bledsoe calls his play, has the ball, throws a home run ball from the end zone to Bobo. Touchdown! Washington State!
On the Washington State Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
Get your home turf ready to play with the game-changing performance of Steel. Enjoy big savings this fall on Steel handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at over 10,000 local Steel dealers. Steel is a proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars. Real Steel. Find yours.
This is the Cougar Football Hour.
The Cougs get the stop! The Cougs get the stop! Cougs take over!
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Well, the Junior Cougs Kids Club is presented by Toyota, and it's the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it's the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. Back here at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour, still to come, Coach Dickert will rejoin us. We'll get to our listener and audience questions, but right now back with Dean Janikowski, Coug kicker. We talked about your great accomplishments on the field, but what you've done off the field is just truly, truly remarkable. The Heather Janikowski Foundation, you have more than a kick pledge. You have the Kicking Cancer event. You're a busy man raising money for cancer, just to help fight cancer. Can you take us through just the whole backstory on the great work that you do off the field?
Yeah, so me and my family started the Heather Janikowski Foundation. We started it when my mom passed away from cancer about 3 years ago. She had breast cancer, fought it for about 9 years, ultimately passed away. So we decided create the Heather Janikowski Foundation in her name. She was always someone who was super involved in the community. She was always helping out those who were also fighting cancer at the time. So me, my brother, my sister, my dad, we all created it, and we started it in California, and we were doing 5Ks, we were doing hikes, and I kind of, as NIL came around, I kind of saw it like, hey, I should use my platform up here, especially knowing how supportive the Cougs are here in the community. And so I brought it up here for my platform, started with More Than a Kick, and you're able to pledge a certain amount per point that I score, and that all that money that we raise, 100% of it goes to someone in our local community that's fighting cancer. And then I also started the Kicking Cancer event, which we do here at Zeppos. It's a live auction, silent auction, and a bowling tournament. And yeah, we've been raising money here, and I believe we're a little over $150,000 raised here.
That's incredible, and that deserves a huge round of applause. Really, really remarkable work by you and your family in taking, I know, such a tough situation and turning in such a positive and in your mother's memory. And for you, you've been recognized for this great work, named to the All-State Good Works team and a Werfel Trophy semifinalist, so making you one of 11 up for college football's premier award for community service. What was it like when you heard about that honor?
Oh, when Bill came up to me, it was a huge deal. I was nominated for it last year and then didn't get the semifinalist, but hearing that now is just a huge deal to me. I know how much it means, and just they said there was 10,000 people that were nominated and they picked only 11 in the country.
That's incredible. And for folks who aren't familiar with what comes with being named to the All-State Good Works team, what does that mean that you're able to do and participate in?
Yeah, so they're going to fly us out to the Sugar Bowl. We're going to be able to do events there. We're going to help do community service there as well. And, yeah, just bring more awareness. They're going to announce us at the game, and then they're going to just keep promoting our foundations and just keep doing that and bring some more awareness around it.
Well, it's wonderful to have you here tonight, not only to talk about your career, but to create more awareness for the excellent work that you're doing. If people are listening, watching, they're here, want to get involved, how can they get involved?
Yeah, so they can go to the HeatherJanikowskiFoundation.com. They can go there, they can donate, or they can go to my social medias. I have my More Than a Kick there, and then we're also planning for the Kicking Cancer event this year, and then as well as vote for the Good Works team, hopefully become the captain for it.
And I went on and I did that today. So yes, everyone go on and vote for Dean to be the captain of the Good Works team. And we're talking about life off the field for you, and you are busy with this great community service. But when it comes to the classroom, what have you studied during your 6 years here at WSU, and what are you thinking about for life after your college football career?
So I did DTC, I did that, and then I minored in business and communications, and I did that. I graduated in 3 years, and then now I've been doing my master's in business administration with KT, so we'll finish that up this summer. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been online. It's one class every 5 weeks, and so I've had a little bit more free time, especially me being a kicker and doing things like that. So I've been able to work on different projects at my house, and we built a jet john, and so we got a Sea-Doo over summer, and we cut it in half, and we got an aluminum boat, and we put them together and created our own little jerry-rigged jet boat. So been able to do that, but we've been staying super busy with different projects, and so I really don't know what I could do. I mean, shoot, me and Brock Dew, one of the linemen, we created recently a new product called track mounts, and so those catapults that you see that go on the football guys that tracks their yardage and things like that, we 3D printed and designed a mount that goes onto your football pads, and so that mounts up there. And so I don't know, we could do something like that, and we've been producing that and making tons of units.
A man of many talents, it sounds like. Listen to this. Well, it has been fantastic getting to catch up with you here today, and just kind of the stage is yours here real quick. Anything else you want to mention as far as your community service, as far as the foundation, that you want people to be aware of?
Yeah, we're just going to keep doing this for as long as we can. I got my brother Jack here, so he'll be doing this for the next 4 or 5 years, and I'm going to keep trying to do it as long as I can.
Love it. Thanks for being here. Congrats on all your success in your Cougar career, and can't wait to see you and your teammates back in action on Saturday.
Thank you.
Again, that is Dean Janikowski, Cougar kicker, stopping by Zeppos here on the Cougar Football Hour. We'll take a timeout. When we return, we'll be joined by Jake Dickert once more. This is the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway, and you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Coug fans, you love rooting for the Crimson and Gray, and now McDonald's has even more for you to cheer about. Because this season, you can score big with the 20-piece McNuggets bundle when you order on the McD app. Get 20 golden, juicy McNuggets, plus 2 orders of the medium fries you know and love, all for just $11.99. McDonald's and Cougars football, now that's what I call a W. Must opt into rewards at participating McDonald's, valid through 2024-25 football season. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is former Coug Eric Coleman.
Picked off, intercepted, touchdown coming into the end zone, Eric Coleman.
And you're listening to Cougar Football. Go Cougs.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums with over 60 daily departures to more than 20 nonstop destinations provided by 7 major airlines, as well as one-stop connections to most major metropolitan centers throughout the U.S. Real-time arrival and flight departure information is available at SpokaneAirports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
This is the Cougar Football Hour.
He'll run himself, still up on his feet, looking for a blocker. He's still going. Touchdown, John Mateer. 3rd and 20 from the 25. Doesn't matter. Mateer makes some magic again.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour here with Jake Dickert once again. And we got a great question here, an audience question for the coach of the Cougs. Can you help pick the best license plate? Walk us through our options here, Coach. We need you to have the final say, it sounds like.
I'm not good at this. I mean, we're playing off of win the day. But I guarantee you someone has win the day, right? So we got to be creative. Is it win_day? Win the day? I mean, I would prefer an A there for a win the day, but I think we got to make sure we get the Y in there. So I'm going to go with the second one, WNTHDY. And if you know, you know. Right? You know what I mean? Like if you're a Coug, you can look at that and that says win the day. Right? Other than that, it's kind of a code for us Cougs. So I'll go with number 2 here.
I like it. I'm going to circle it just so.
We got to put that out on Twitter. Yeah.
Just so it is official on.
But now someone's going to take that. You already got it. Now, come on, we better get there quick.
There we go. Run to the DMV. I don't think they're open today.
And they don't move very fast. So good luck.
First thing in the morning. Yeah. Well, we've got some questions to get to. We're going to take another time out. We'll get to as many questions as we can. And again, get you all geared up. The Cougs back in action Saturday on the road against Fresno State. More with Coach Dickert after this. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
With the WSU debit card from Gisa, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride, and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan with big savings by helping them grow their money with Smart Plus checking. So, does the card support the Coug fan, or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Gisa.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
The passion, the tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got you covered. On SiriusXM College Sports Radio, there's complete coverage of every major conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now. See offer details at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 24.
Back once again at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour here with the head coach of the Cougs, Jake Dickert, and we got a really important question here to get to. It's about mental health, and it's wanting to know more about this being Mental Health Awareness Week and what the resources are for the student athletes here at WSU.
Yeah, I think it's a really important question, Chris, and we're really honored to partner with Helinski's Hope, and they've just an amazing job, just like Dean, turning tragedy into triumph and using just their opportunity to spread awareness. And just really fortunate to our partnership with Pullman Regional Health. We have 2 mental health coordinators within our program and athletic department, and just tons of resources for our guys to go to. So just to always know, we talk about a lot in our program, like mental health is a strength. It's a strength, and I know as big tough football guys, we talk about it all the time. We struggle too, and find that one person that you can go to. It could be a coach, it could be a teammate, it could be a trainer, it could be an academic advisor, and it's okay to ask for help. So to partner with Helinski's Hope, I think, is really huge for our program, and you'll see us wearing a green ribbon on our polos and on our helmets this week, and it's obviously a big part of it because we talk about a holistic approach here at Washington State. It isn't just, hey, come in here and learn how to play football. Learn how to become a man and take care of their physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, the whole being. And so when they leave their program, they're just like Dean and ready for this world. And that's a big part of it. So we're honored to partner with them as we head into this football game.
Well said. Well said there. Yeah. As we have a little bit of time left, just getting to some of our questions on social media. One of the questions from Finn Kell kind of hit on that, the young-on-young game during the bye week. You touched on that before. Another question coming in from Zach. How much of Fresno State from the LA Bowl scheme-wise is still there today?
Oh, a ton of it, and I think that's where you, on both sides, I mean, defenses are both very similar, same coordinator, same very scheme on our side, and, after Kalen DeBoer was Kirby Moore, who obviously has gone to Missouri, and you see that style of play. We still are obviously different play callers, but similar modern air raids, so, all the faces have changed who's running the plays, but at the end of the day, I think you're, very familiar schematically, and you kind of get a chance chance to look back for a couple of years ago on what they tried to do or what we tried to do to them, and you use that in some of your preparations.
Time for another question here. The question is about the young on young game. You touched on that, but also followed up, if you can name a couple of young guys that have stood out. Who are the stars of that game?
Yeah, Malachi Rice. I mean, he's just been incredible, a defensive end from Oklahoma. We found him about this time last year as just a long, skinny kid running around and playing, and he's proven to be just one of those guys that he's going to be really, really good. Josh Joyner at tailback. You see the three big physical guys we have. He's about 5'7", 150 pounds, and a bottle of lightning. So he's going to be kind of that lightning to that thunder as we go, and just excited about our young guys and building the future of this program.
Excited about the young guys, excited for the game on Saturday. Cougs taking on Fresno State. Coach, we'll talk to you then. Can't wait.
It's going to be that time. Good to see everybody in Fresno.
A big thank you not only to Coach Jake Dickert, but to Dean Janikowski. A huge thank you here to Jared Pringruber on the video side, Jerry Kylo on the audio side. Back in the studio, Luke Hallett. I'm Chris King signing off. That's it for this week's edition of the Cougar Football Hour. We will talk to you starting at 2 o'clock from Fresno on Saturday. Go Cougs! This has been the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
You've been listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show has been brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zeppos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network.